Hello there, I'm Justin Schaff, and this is my homework video for Learning Activity 1 in Exercise Science 384. Now, we're just going to get right into it. As far as like active versus reflective, I'm a bit more of a reflective learner, but I do get a lot of value from active learning. I find that to get general basics down, active learning is probably my best bet, but to really get into the nitty-gritty of things, reflective learning is no doubt what's best for me. I do a really good job of just looking back at what I did or what has been done and then figuring out how to continue from there. So the best way for me to help myself would just be being active, because that'll help me be engaged in the beginning parts of the learning process. And then after that, really just reflecting on that time I spent and reflecting and looking into things that'll give me a deeper knowledge of the subject. And now forgive me if I'm looking down, it's because I have notes down here, so I'll be looking down a little bit. As far as sensing versus intuitive, I'm a bit more intuitive, right? And so that's good, because it sounds like college classes are aimed at people who are a bit more intuitive. So I will say that I do get bored when I'm like studying and just reading over lectures. That's tough for me, and I guess that also leads into the next thing, which is visual versus verbal. I'm a very verbal learner. Visualizing things is tough for me, and that's why I struggle with like boredom when I'm just reading a textbook. It is nice to have textbooks with like lots of pictures and examples, that's good. But once again, like I said, I get bored pretty quickly, and it's hard for me to stay focused if I'm just reading over the same paragraph time and time again. Uh, I really do prefer the verbal way to learn. And I think it shows, especially because I listen to a lot of podcasts and I learn a lot from podcasts. So I think that very much points itself to me being a verbal learner. Okay, as we go to sequential versus global, it's kind of like mixed for me in learning styles. I find that it just kind of depends on the subject, right? Obviously, if things are very intertwined, if processes are very intertwined, it helps me very much to go through it in a sequential manner. And then something like a math problem, I always go through sequential, right? But if ideas, or if the issue is ideas or concepts that are a bit more spaced out, but still like interconnected in a few ways, I think global helps, because then if I don't get one of the things, I can jump to another one. And then if I get a greater understanding of a couple other ideas, maybe the first one will make more sense, if that makes sense. But if it's something like a math problem, then yeah, I have to do it sequentially. Um, so overall, what can I really say? I think I'm just lucky because I love to learn, no matter what way that ends up being. Like, even though reading is hard for me, or like reading textbooks is hard for me, I still do it. So I find ways to make it a bit more fun for me, but I really get my bread and butter from like listening to things and trying to act out things and reflecting on what I already know. So yeah, that's my learning activity 1 answer. I hope it's good. Signing out.